Hello, beautiful people. I've assembled a few items that I think I might want to use, and I'm so happy that you are going to join me for another process video. This week, I think I have a plan, and I think that I want to use blues, oranges, and a splash of yellow for this particular week spread. So you will see that I change my mind multiple times during the process of creating this spread, and in the end it takes me over 2 hours, my friends. Yes, 2 hours, because I just change my mind over and over and over again. And to get myself started, I decide to use a pocket, or to create a pocket for this spread, and then I want to place a couple of journaling cards inside of the pocket. Now, I really love this Simple Stories 12 by 12 paper, and I thought I wanted to use the colorful side. However, I didn't trim it or cut it properly, and so the lines do not line up, and in the end I end up going with the wood grain side of the pattern paper rather than the colorful quilted side. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and adhere down the sides of the pocket so that it fits nicely. There we go. And now I want to see if I can fit the 3x4 journaling cards inside the pocket. I discovered that I'm going to have to trim them down just a tad so that they will fit around the corners. And now that that's done, they do fit in there nicely. But what I realize is that it's not going to be easy to pull them in and out. And so I trim the top of the pocket, and then I also create a little half circle notch with my circle punch. It's either a 1 or 1.5 inch punch, I believe. And so there we go. Now I have a nice simple notch, and it'll be quite easy to pull the journaling cards out if someone wants to do that. So next up, I want to use this A is for card. My baby boy made a wonderful little friend this summer. One of our neighbors, his son was visiting for 6 weeks, and the two of them just hit it off immediately. It was just great to see how well they played together. And unfortunately, the 6 weeks ended far too soon, and he had to go home. And so this photograph was a picture, their last kind of picture together, and I took them out for Dairy Queen. And so that top title card is actually a shot of the Dairy Queen that they selected on their little outing, goodbye outing. And I also want to kind of embellish the pocket just a bit. And so I have a tag and a little bit of wood veneer that adds an additional kind of splash of orange and yellow. So now I'm going to go ahead and embellish this black and white photo of my husband and me. And we actually had the chance to go on a hot date. Yes, if you've been married or in any type of long-term relationship and you have kids, you know how important hot dates are and how rare they might be. So we had just a total blast. We didn't get home till 2:30 in the morning. I was like, what? So really, really fun. Wanted to journal about that, of course, and so glad I had my sons take a picture of us before we headed out the door. So because I used the white thickers on the photograph with my son and his summer buddy, I decided to use the white thickers on this blue card as well, thinking that that's going to create some type of cohesion. And then I also go ahead and use these big yellow and orange dots, and I place those on the blue card, thinking that that will bring in the yellow and the orange. So while I let those cards sit, I go ahead and embellish my title card using the acrylic Currently that came in the June Studio Calico kit. So I've done this a couple times where I use a photograph as my title card. I do like doing that. It's another way to incorporate an extra photo when I have a heavy photo week. So I have some of these little yellow authentic letters that I use to create the week 30. Again, in my mind, I'm trying to incorporate yellow across the entire spread. Now, I also need to include the date, and I don't know if you can tell, but I'm placing a little bit of tape on the section where it says 2015 because I realized I can't get the entire date with the 2015 there. And so by covering up the 2015, I'm able just to get the June dates on the Life is Good card. So I'm not really happy at this point, and this is where I begin to make all types of wonderful changes. So I tried this printable yellow summer card, thinking, well, maybe I need to add more yellow to this spread. Just adding a little, I said June, adding a little July sticker. This is July, not June. Then I have this Cricut cuttable that I made. I think, ooh, maybe I want to put that lacrosse across the picture with my son. But I really didn't like that. It was too big. And of course, when I cut the lacrosse, I knew that my son was playing in this summer camp, but I wasn't really thinking about size. And so it was far too large, and it really was not going to work for me on that photograph. Then I decide, well, those yellow stickers, too much yellow. I didn't like it, so I pull it off. I'm moving around some cards. I also try this kind of polka dot orange card to see, well, maybe I really need to add more orange, and that will kind of balance out the spread for me. Now that I've moved the yellow letter stickers away, I feel like I need to do something else with the bottom there. And when I stamped the dates, they were a little wonky, and so that was bothering me as well. So what I end up doing is on the pocket card, I place the week 30. It comes from the snap stickers that has a little number 30 on it. So I place the number 30 on the pocket card and not on the title card. Slight variation from my normal kind of system, if you will, but it's okay. Sometimes you have to change things up. And so I'm going to go ahead and try to restamp the date again. Again, I'm blocking off the 2015 because this little label is so narrow and small, I don't have room to incorporate the 2015. So it just says July blank to July blank, and I can't remember what weeks this week or what days this week 30 actually incorporates. Okay, so I feel a little bit better about that without the yellow on the title card, but I'm not completely happy with the rest of the spread. And so I continue to meander about. This process is a meandering process this week. So then I think, oh, let me try the original. Don't like the original so much. Smaller, but still not really doing it for me. So now I'm going to play around a little bit with this photograph with my son and his summer buddy. I was not sure if I wanted to say summer pals. I end up going with summer dudes. Then I place a 2015 on top of it. This is way too heavy, and it will continue to irritate me for the next few minutes. The other problem is that the word summer is too large, and it's covering up our little friend Anario's body, and all I have is a head sticking out. And so finally, you will see that I changed that card on the bottom left. So there are several problems that eventually I have to resolve. So I go back to my pile of 3x4 cards, and you see I switch out the yellow and the orange. What I realized is that although initially I wanted to use the yellow and the orange, it was just too bright, too much. And so I end up kind of changing my whole plan. Change, and this is the final spread. It's softer and much more muted than my initial idea. You'll see the title card is a little bit different. I've also changed the placement of the two photographs and the font of the letter stickers as well. That awesome card is a soft muted blue, which really tones down the spread. And I really like the way it turned out, but it is much different than my initial vision. But that's sometimes how life goes. You know, there are curves, there are bends in the road, and you kind of just have to go with the flow and enjoy the journey. for me, enjoying the creative process is all a part of scrapbooking. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you are inspired to enjoy your creative journey. Until next time, hugs!